Okay, hello, this is Claudín. I'll be taking you through a core strength practice today. So let's get to it. We've got 45 minutes. We're gonna come onto our backs, coming into a recline bound angle pose. The soles of the feet to touch, knees wide, and then let's take the hands to the belly. Okay, so right away focusing the breath down into the stomach, awakening the diaphragm, and deep purposeful breaths. Let's start with 10 clearing breaths. Feel your belly expand and lift as you inhale. And the belly soften back down as you exhale. Use your hands to bring your thighs, your knees back together, and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, we're going to set up for a reverse recline tabletop. So stack your knees over your hips, shins parallel to the mat, and then flatten your low back down onto the ground. Okay, scoop your shoulder blades slightly up underneath you and tuck in the chin towards the chest. You're already feeling like the low belly engaging here. Okay, let's slide the hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers. And we're gonna deconstruct abdominal twists, okay? So really taking the movement, the motion one by one. You start out with an inhale, lifting the shoulders and keeping the neck nice and long, the head light in the hands. And then as you exhale, you're gonna twist opposite elbow to opposite knee, straightening out your free leg. Inhale back to center, shoulders stay up, tuck the tailbone. Exhale, twist. Come back to center, pull the belly in as you lift up. Exhale, untwist, pull shoulder blades off the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Press your long leg away from you. Come back to center, inhale. Twist. Back to center. Twist. All right, guide yourself through 2 more on each leg. Let the breath be what informs your movement. Okay, we'll meet back at center. Keep the shoulders up, straighten out the legs, and now reach for your toes. Okay, reach everything up, lift up. Curl the tailbone under, curl the shoulders up. Keep length the spine as you look past your toes to the ceiling. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Lift up, lift, lift, lift. Last 3, 2, 1. Construct a rest pose. Feet to the outer edges of your mat. Big knees drop in. Hands on the belly for 3 breaths. All right, let's set up for reclined eagle. So lift the feet up off the ground. We're going to take the right arm under the left, wrap, and then right leg over the left, wrap up. Okay, knees over hips, elbows in line with shoulders. Okay, on an inhale, lift the head and shoulders. On an exhale, squeeze in, knees to elbows. Inhale, lengthen, keep the shoulders up though. And then exhale, squeeze in. Okay, we're going for a total of 6. That was 2, 3, Inhale. 4. Inhale. 5. Last one. Inhale. Keep pressing your low back into the mat. And then squeeze, 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 squeeze. Release. Okay. Take maybe a breath and constructive rest just to reset. Get ready. Clear out. Start fresh. Let's go for eagle on the left side. Left arm under. Elbows over shoulders. And then left leg on top. Knees over hips. Okay. As you inhale, lift the head and shoulders off the floor. Exhale, squeeze elbows to knees. Inhale, lengthen, keep the head lifted. And then exhale, pull in. Okay, 4 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Reach it up. Squeeze. Last one. Bring it in. Okay, and unwind. Shoo. Constructive rest. Tap into your core. Feel the heat building there. Acknowledge it. All right, we're going to heel toe the feet parallel to one another. Walk them in towards your sitting bones so that your ankles are below your kneecaps. And then press down through the 4 corners of both feet, coming up into bridge pose. Walk the forearms up underneath you. And then ground down through your arms to lift the hips. Okay, press into the heels, the big toe mounds of your feet. Lengthen the tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Pull your chin away from your chest. And then using the back of your skull to lift your upper spine a little more. Okay, and then we're going to slowly unwind here. Lowering down from top to bottom, bone by bone. Tuck the tailbone up underneath you as your pelvis comes down. And then ground the sacrum into the earth. Whew. Hug your knees into your chest, little rock from side to side. Cross your ankles, glue your knees together as you rock forward and back. Build the momentum. One of these times when you come forward, roll right over your ankles, downward facing dog. Okay, pedal it out. Spread out your hands super wide so that you can root down through the knuckles. And then grip the mat with your finger pads. On an inhale, lift your heels. On an exhale, undulate through your spine to plank pose. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Down dog. 3 more, plank. Down dog, let the core do the work here. Plank. Down dog. One more time, lift up, roll forward, plank pose. Long exhale to downward facing dog. All right, come back into plank pose. Let's come into side plank. Drop the heels to the right, left arm up. Okay, press your hips up. Turn your gaze up to find your left thumb as you lift your hips up a little bit higher. Come back to plank pose. Take it over to side plank with the right arm up. Stack your bones. Right leg on top of left. And then bottom wrist. See that it's right below your shoulder. A long line from your bottom hand all the way to the top hand. Press up, lift. And then come back to plank pose, shift forward, lower all the way down. 3 cobras, untuck the toes. Inhale to lift, lower down. Lift, lower. Last one, lift, lower. Cobra, rise up and stay. Okay, squeeze the elbows in. Tuck the chin in slightly, nice long neck. Stay for 3, 2, lift up a little bit higher, and release. Right into locust pose. Come into bound locust, the hands clasped. And then as you stretch your knuckles towards your heels, lift the legs, lift the shoulders. Zip everything in towards the midline. Okay, front ribs draw in towards one another. Pubic bone presses down so you can lift up. Okay, find ease in the effort here. Okay, ease with your breath. With the lift, one more lift. Higher, and then release. Okay, bring your hands by your sides. We're going to press up into high plank. Tuck the toes. Heels go back as knees lift up. And then on an exhale, nice and strong, to the top. Downward facing dog. Big toes to touch. Bring the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Bend your lifted knee, open your hips. Take a strong inhale, look forward. Bring the right knee to the right elbow or upper arm, okay, as high up as you can go. Take an inhale, then go to the left arm. Go to the left wrist, and then back to the right wrist. Sweep it up and back. Ready? Let's do that again. Take the right knee to the right arm, to the left arm. Left wrist, right wrist. Stretch it back. One more time. Right leg up. Over to the left arm. Press the earth away from you. Left wrist. Right wrist. Sweep it up and back. Come into high lunge. Okay, always an option to ground the back knee so that you can find some greater stability there. Drop the hips low, send them forward. Lift your chest up towards the ceiling as you keep the hips heavy down towards the earth. Cactus, open the arms. Slide the shoulder blades in towards one another. Heart comes forward. Okay, inhale to lengthen and look up. Exhale, let's round the spine like an angry cat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. This is the last one. Hollow out the front of your body. And then lift back up, stretch the arms. Hands to the earth, plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Downward facing dog. Okay, we're gonna do our knee squares with the left leg down. So big toes to touch. Left leg goes up this time. Bend the upper knee, open the hips. Lunge the left knee towards the left shoulder. Now go to right. Go to the right wrist. Left wrist. Stretch it back. Here we go, 2 more times. Left arm. Right arm. Right wrist. Left wrist. Stretch it back. Last one. Knee to elbow. To the other side. To the wrist. Back to the start, the other wrist. Stretch it back. Awesome job. To high lunge. On an inhale, sweep up. Ground back into your breath. Ujjayi. Bend at the elbows, draw the elbows back in space and press the heart forward. Now hook your belly button to your spine so the core engages, the abdominal muscles engage here. Lengthen on the inhale and round on the exhale. Do 3. Be steady with the movement, steady with the breath. Last Last one, lift up, stretch the arms. Vinyasa to down dog. Make your hands big so you can press into the ground and press away from the ground to lift the hips. Three-legged dog, right leg up. Bend and stack open the hips. Square the hips, straighten the right leg. Step it forward for high lunge. Inhale to rise. Okay, let's come into eagle arms now. So take the left arm under the right. And then again, lift the elbows so you can get them in line with the shoulders and draw the forearms away from your face. And lengthen out the toes so you can anchor through the four corners of both feet. Engage in your core, draw the low belly in and up. And then we're going to come right into eagle pose. Shift the weight of your body into your right foot as you cross the left leg on top. Stabilize, drop the hips low. And then we're going to nest our eagle. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round, elbows to knees. Inhale. Exhale. And so much of this movement has to do with steadying your gaze, focused attention. Do two more. Last one. Come into eagle pose. And then unwind into chair pose. Big toes to touch, space between the heels. And then send your shins back in space. Lengthen out through the low back and keep that extension all the way up through the crown of your head. Inhale your heart high, arm bones back by your ears. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Lift halfway, lengthen the spine. Then plant the hands, exhale, step or hop back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, left leg high, breathe in. Bend and open the lifted leg. Straighten out the left leg, square the hips. High lunge. Here you go, eagle arms, right arm comes under this time. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, a nice long neck. And scissor your legs in towards one another to engage through your foundation, engage into your deep core muscles. Come into eagle, right leg on top. Here we go. Nest your eagle 5 times. Find your calm, your centeredness. Offer yourself grace. You know, if that slips, it's all good. Get right back in. I lost count. I'm going to do one more. And then rising in eagle. Coming into chair pose. Keep the hips low and back. Okay. Relax the jaw. Relax the muscles in your face as you reach high. Bow forward and release. Lift up halfway. Forward fold, nice and heavy. Last time, lengthen the spine, collarbones forward. Plant the hands, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Roll forward to high plank. Come into side plank with the left arm up. Okay, now we're gonna do hip dips here. Okay, so what you can do is bring your left arm by your side as you lower your hips, and then lift the hips up, reach the left arm overhead. Okay, going for a total of 5. That's 1, 2, 3. Steady with the breath, controlled in the movement. No rush here. Whew. Keep the hips lifted. Come back to plank. Take it right to the other side. Stack your joints. Bottom wrist, below top shoulder. There you go. And then lift and lower the hips. 5. Okay, last one for me. Hips high, lift up away from the ground, out of the wrists, out of the shoulders. Whew, it's a plank pose. Down to forearm plank. Okay, forearms parallel to one another. And then you can even ground your palms here so you can press through your forearms, through the heels of your palms to lift the body up away from the ground. Okay, core strong. Reach the tailbone towards your heels. Lengthen the top of your head towards the front of your space. Walk it forward to dolphin pose. Keep pressing the ground away from you as you squeeze your arms in towards the midline of your body. Walk up a couple more inches. Keep the hips lifted. Engage through your core. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come onto your hands and knees. Or forearms and knees. And then take it to puppy pose. Let your forehead or your chin rest on the ground. Melt your heart down towards the earth. All right, come back forward onto your forearms. Here we go, forearm plank one last time. 30-second hold. Starts now. Keep the breath moving. Just be between your hands. Find one fixed point to set your gaze on. About 10 seconds left. Hips not too high, not too low. Find that long line from the back of your skull, through the shoulders, the hips, down to the heels. Last 3, 2, 1. Walk the feet forward. Dolphin pose one last time. Press the ground away from you. Shift your chest towards your thighs. And then lower down onto your knees. Okay, let's go through one more vinyasa from high plank through chaturanga, taking a back bend of your choice to downward facing dog. Nice, lower down onto your knees. Setting up for camel pose. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Hands on your hips. And then ground down through your foundation. Press into the ground as you lift your heart up and curl it back. So the hips forward. Draw the shoulder blades in and up. Slow down the breath and deepen it. And release. Slowly reverse out of this pose. Keep your knees together. We're going to come into a closed knee child's pose. The arms can stay by your sides, forehead down to the ground. Okay, we're going to hang out here for about 5 to 10 breaths. Let your hips get heavy down towards your heels. And if that causes your forehead to lift up off the mat, then grab a block or stack your fists so that way you can keep your head supported and just bring the earth up to you. All right, slowly coming up out of this pose. Let's do that like roll up through the spine one more time. Letting the head be super heavy here and the shoulders round forward as you curl up. And then lifting the head up when you're all the way up. Swinging the legs out forward. You're going to set up for inverted tabletop. So walk your feet so they're hips width distance. And position your feet so that they are parallel to one another. Big toes pointed towards the back edge of your mat. Ground down through the big toe mounds and the center of each heel. Palms planted behind you with the fingers pointing towards your heels as you lift the hips up. Okay, so we're opening out through the chest, through the front side body. We just worked a lot in today. Let's see if you can really stretch and open and release here. Ground down through the triads of your hands, through the inner edges of both feet to lift the hips up. Tuck the chin into your chest slightly. Take a slow breath in. And then you're going to release your hips back down on the breath out. Okay, maybe give yourself a little windshield wiper here with the legs. And we're going to do that one more time. So we'll either do the inverted tabletop position, or if you want a little more challenge, we can do a reverse plank pose. Right, so choose whichever one is calling for you today. With the reverse plank, we'll straighten out the legs. And then align your joints again. So wrist below the shoulders. When you're ready, lift the hips up. And whatever option you take, a reverse tabletop or a reverse plank, press the four corners of both feet down into the ground. Dig your toes into the mat to lift your hips up, open out through the shoulders. Stay for a breath in. Then a full breath out. Press the earth away from you, even through the four corners of both hands. Take one more breath to lift up. And then gently lower the hips down. Ground down through your sitting bones. Lengthen from base of your spine to the crown of your head. Sweep the arms high. Hinge forward and fold. Let the head round here, hang heavy. Opening up through the neck. And here in this fold, releasing through the low back. Sense that now. See if you can. Notice the physical sensations and signals your body's sending you. And give yourself 3 more breaths in this fold. Okay, and then again, like we did earlier, we're going to in the child's pose where we slowly rolled up, we're going to do that here in the seated forward fold. So rolling up bone by bone. Coming up slowly until the shoulders stack over the hips and the head stacks over the shoulders. Dandasana, staff pose. Draw your low belly in and up. Loop the heads of your shoulders back and down. Okay, so core strong here. And we're going to reverse that path to come down to rest on our back. And seeing how slowly you can go and how much you can like isolate the movement. Really engaging into your abdominal muscles to lower you down. Press your hips back in space and even reach forward with your hands. Let's try to lower down for a 10 count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake the arms overhead as you rest your shoulders and your head down onto the ground. Go for a full body stretch. Get myself back on the mat here. Let's come into a happy baby. Catching a hold of either your big toes or the outer edges of your feet. You can even grab a hold of your outer ankles or the calves to really pull the legs apart and draw the knees down and out. See if you can bring the tailbone and your sacrum down onto the mat, pressing the low spine. Root your shoulder blades into the ground too. Find length in your spine. Support from the ground beneath you, holding your spine, your back. Bring the legs together and hug the right knee into your chest. Reach the left leg out long to the ground. Press that left heel away from you as you hug the right knee into your heart a little bit more. Come into a supine twist. Knee will cross over your body as you take your gaze in the opposite direction. All right, come back to center. Stretch out your right leg. Left knee to your chest. Hug in as you stretch the right leg out. Move into your supine twist. Come back to center. Let's come back to our reclined bound ankle pose. The hands on the belly, returning to this starting shape that we took at the beginning of practice. Feel the warmth beneath your hands. And send some love and respect to the space where your hands are placed on your belly. Love and respect. Let's take one more cycle of breath here to drop in, to land into this present moment. And then take our final pose for this practice, Shavasana. Stretch out the legs, the arms, and then scooch the shoulder blades up underneath you to open the chest, shoulders, and even feel your arms kind of slide out and away from you. Now release any last bit of efforting muscularly, energetically, between the ears. so that you can allow yourself deep, deep rest. And begin to bring your awareness back to your physical body by inviting tiny bits of movement in through your fingers and your toes. And then extend that awakening up through the ankles and the wrists, rolling them out. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a good embrace. And then come over to rest on one side in a fetal position. Take this moment in your day, at the end of your practice, in stillness, to offer yourself some kind words of acknowledgement. When you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bring our hands together in front of our hearts in a gesture of gratitude and thanks. Acknowledging and giving thanks to ourselves once more, to one another, and to this community we give thanks, to the space that you're in, the land it's on, acknowledge that. And lastly, to this practice of yoga, its wisdom and ancient traditions that we have the honor and the privilege to be able to practice and share with one another. Let's lift our thumb knuckles, touching into the center of our brow, the third eye center. Herein lies your seat of intuition, of truth, and the place where all beings everywhere connect. Thank you so much for joining me in your practice, trusting me with your time. Together, let's bow.